Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. This will start happening when silver reaches $60 an ounce. Let's explore! $60 an ounce seems like a number that is way far away from reality these days. In fact, most are very bearish on the price of silver. We've been seeing it go down and stay down consistently, further separating itself from what most of us consider to be a normal gold to silver ratio. But I think many of us understand now that a lot of that is due to a lack of industrial demand for silver, partly because of the supply chain issues. And normally there's a lot of things that happen that one would think would cause the paper price of silver to go up. But regardless, we are seeing the physical price go up in terms of premiums at least, although they've subsided somewhat since the silver squeeze movement started, and the high demand for silver during the coronavirus. So why are we talking about $60 silver? Because there's going to be something that's going to be happening that essentially will be triggered by that number and maybe even slightly lower. You know, remember in 2011 we saw $50 silver, but it really wasn't at that level for long enough to really be tested as to whether this would occur. There's so much that goes into products and even services such as healthcare and technology and industry. Silver is consumed at a great amount, and we know demand for silver is going to be rising, if not in the coming 2 years, certainly after that. There will be some sort of normalcy that we'll get at some point in time, although black swans seem to be the norm these days. But nonetheless, we are seeing a lot of volatility in the marketplace, and silver is still being consumed. And what I have heard long preached on many different channels and platforms and commentaries is that silver essentially gets eaten up, gets consumed by industry and by technology and by science and in the medical field. And really, in a sense, that's true. Where does the silver go? It ends up in landfills. And you may remember, for those of you who have been strong supporters of the channel, been watching for quite some time, I have some extra solar panels that I tried to extract the silver out. And it was not an easy process. In fact, it is almost impossible to get any silver that's measurable or any way that you can do it easily. I was thinking the little strips that are silver in color anyway was the silver. But apparently it's photovoltaic silver paste. That's right, it's a silver paste. And it's not the kind of paste that you can really extract and spread on a sandwich either. But because it is in a paste, makes it even more difficult to extract. And expensive, very expensive. And in reality, a lot of those end up in landfills. Electronic devices and the like, where the price of silver being as low as it is, it's just not economically viable to extract the silver. And most who say that silver is going to be more rare than gold base their opinion on that fact, is that it is not economically viable, and so silver is discarded. But silver is never really gone. Just like gold, it is here to stay. It's just in a different form. And my guess is it being in a landfill inside all of these devices, well, it's a concentration of a lot of different items that have silver in it, just like it is bringing it out of the ground. Well, when you go look at a silver mine, even a primary silver mine, you're not going to find nuggets laying around. It has to be processed, indeed. Now, it is easier, obviously, to process it out of the ground because the silver miners, well, that's what they do. And they certainly can take it and be able to extract it through their processes and technology that they use to do that. Well, there will come a day, folks, when all of that silver that most who have been saying that there's going to come a time when silver is going to be more rare than gold, when you're going to see a flood of new silver hit the market because it is going to be extracted out of those landfills and recycled. You've heard me talk about on this channel how they have the technology now to essentially extract silver from sewage. That's right, wastewater. And we know that there's silver and also gold, by the way, in the oceans. And there's silver, really, in a sense, everywhere to a point. It's just a matter of collecting it and getting it. And so if silver were to reach $60 an ounce, or maybe even a little bit less, it may become economically viable to extract it. And more than likely they would at that point in time. What does that mean for you as a stacker? That means that more than likely that would bridge a new or build a new floor for silver, because more than likely, if that's how we're mining silver out of landfills, the cost of production will go up, especially if some say that there's between 20 and 20 some odd years of silver in the ground. But I don't necessarily believe those numbers, but some are saying that that's the case. But that may be primary silver mines, not silver mined as a byproduct of other metals, which when silver is mined as a byproduct of other metals, it is much cheaper, somewhere between the neighborhood of $4 to $8 to $10 an ounce, as opposed to out of the primary silver mines where it is between $14 and $19 a troy ounce. A wide range between both of those numbers because we have rising fuel costs now and inflation, and I've not seen the latest data out on those, but those are ballpark ranges. In other words, it's a lot less to mine silver as a byproduct of other metals, and that will probably most assuredly continue after these 20 years are up, where they say that that's about all we have left out of the primary silver mines. And that's not taken into account, by the way, discovery of new primary silver mines, which they're on a constant lookout for those. In fact, you've heard me talk about some of the exploration companies, mining companies that are looking into new discoveries on this channel. And so we are going to see silver being recycled at around $60 an ounce, and that will be something to see, and it will pretty much bring in a new form of supply back into the silver market. We already know that there is silver recycling that has been done, especially through the 2011 period and into 2012 and 13. There was a company called Ohio Precious Metals who actually all of their silver that they produced was recycled silver. That was their selling point for their products. You don't see that as much these days with the prices lower now, but I believe we'll start to see more of that. And already, I'm sure they are betting that we're going to see that, and they are studying ways to make it as efficient and cost-effective as possible. And so, therefore, it around $60 an ounce is a number that has been talked about now. And where I got that information from, by the way, was from another report that was done by Kitco News, an interview with the gentleman Matt Watson, who is a specialist in precious metals commodity management, and I did an interview and talked about how much silver is left and solar power and where we are at with the silver supply in the ground, left mineable supply, as well as that price point. So I'm basing my opinion on his expertise on this, but it is a fascinating thing to consider. And you've heard me talk on this channel, for those who've been watching long enough, about how, yes, silver supply, the lie about silver supply is a video I did quite a while that talked about this issue and others, and that is, silver is not running out. It's just a matter of reconstituting it and recycling it. Being the metal that it is, it can be done, just like gold is recycled and reconstituted. And gold, by the way, there was a time when somebody liquefied their gold with aqua regia. That was a Nobel Peace Prize, and reconstituted it, had it redone after the Nazi threat. And so, therefore, it was over. So, therefore, the same thing here with silver. It can be recycled and reconstituted to the forms that you see here now. And silver is a remarkable metal, and I believe it sells itself, and it is obviously very useful. It is one of the most, in fact, if not the most diverse metal on the planet. And it may not be the most widely used in terms of ounces mined and used, but it is most diverse. I can't think of any other metal that's as diverse as silver. And copper may be a close second, but copper does have a lot of the same properties to some extent, other than the color, and there's a lot more of copper around. But I think silver is better at what it does. It is the most conductive metal and the most reflective, and there's other properties that make it stand out, even above and beyond copper in that regard. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And we know now that the silver, when it reaches about $60 an ounce, well, we're going to start to see a recycling campaign like we've never seen. But it's probably got to be a sustained $60 an ounce, or maybe a little bit less. We'll see what happens. But let me know your thoughts. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and stack.